Welcome, seekers of forgotten myths and ancient relics. This is EPIC RELICS, a journey through the shadows of history where gods, monsters, and legends intertwine. Tonight we step into the enchanted forests of Roman and Greek lore to uncover the secret of a creature both wild and wise, half human, half goat, known to mortals as the Faun. In the beginning, when the earth was still young and the forests whispered with ancient magic, there emerged the Faun. Born from the rustic spirit of nature, the Faun was neither man nor beast, but a bridge between the two. With the horns of a goat, the legs of a wild creature, and the face of a man, the Faun represented the unrestrained freedom of nature. Unlike mortals bound by law, the Fauns roamed freely, symbols of wilderness and instinct. In Roman tradition, they were believed to be descendants of Faunus, the god of the forest, fields, and fertility. To the Greeks, their kin were the Satyrs, companions of the wild god Dionysus. But while Satyrs thrived in chaos and revelry, Fauns embodied a gentler, more protective spirit. Guardians of the forest, watchers of hidden places, and keepers of untamed joy. To understand the Faun is to embrace contradiction. They were tricksters, yet protectors, mischievous, yet wise. In the myths, Fauns could lead travelers astray with laughter echoing through the trees, or they could guide the lost towards safety, their flutes echoing in the moonlight. This duality made them unpredictable, never fully benevolent, never purely malevolent. In their eyes shimmered the chaos of the wild and the wisdom of ages past. They embodied freedom, music, desire, and instinct. Some stories claim they whispered secrets of prophecy in the darkness, granting visions to mortals who dared to listen. Others feared them as seducers, luring mortals with hypnotic dances and intoxicating music. The Faun's duality was a reflection of nature itself, nurturing yet merciless, beautiful yet dangerous. To the Romans, Fauns were more than forest spirits. They were sacred echoes of their god Faunus. Faunus, the rustic deity of nature, was often depicted with goat's horns and a shepherd's staff. He was a god of fertility, dreams, and prophecy. It was said that in the silent night, Faunus whispered omens through the rustling leaves. Fauns, his children, carried fragments of his power. They haunted the woods, dwelling in caves and glades, offering both blessings and curses. The ancient Romans revered them during festivals, where sacrifices of goats and sacred rituals were made to honor Faunus and his kin. To disrespect the Fauns was to invite misfortune, for their wrath could twist the paths of hunters, scatter livestock, and strike fear into villages. But those who honored them gained prosperity, fertility of the land, and harmony with the wild. One cannot speak of Fauns without mentioning the haunting sound of their music. Legend tells of their mastery of the syrinx, or pan flute, an instrument said to be born from reeds transformed by a nymph fleeing the god Pan. To mortals, the flute was enchanting, capable of stirring joy, passion, or despair. To Fauns, it was more than sound. It was the voice of nature itself. When a Faun played beneath the moonlight, animals gathered, rivers stilled, and the trees themselves seemed to sway in rhythm. Some tales describe Fauns lulling men into dreams so deep that visions of the gods appeared. Others whisper that their melodies could ignite uncontrollable desire or madness. The pan flute became their emblem, a tool of seduction, a weapon of enchantment, and a bridge to the divine.
While the Romans revered the faun as a symbol of nature's wisdom, the Greeks told of their kin, the satyrs. Satyrs were wilder, more chaotic, often depicted as drunken companions of Dionysus, the god of wine. They danced in madness, chased nymphs, and reveled in eternal festivity. Among them stood Pan, the goat-footed god of the wild, often mistaken for the greatest faun. Pan embodied the raw energy of the wilderness, the very terror of nature itself. The word panic was said to come from him, the sudden fear felt when one wandered too deep into the woods. The difference between faun and satyr was subtle, yet profound. Where satyrs embodied chaos, fauns carried balance. Where Pan was terror, fauns were guides. Together, they revealed the ancient human struggle to understand nature not as an enemy nor as a friend, but as a force to be respected.
Throughout history, mortals told countless tales of encounters with fauns. Some speak of shepherds led safely home by a mysterious figure with goat's legs, vanishing at dawn. Others warn of travelers who followed the sound of laughter, only to be lost for days in the forest, trapped in illusions spun by mischievous fauns. In darker legends, fauns would seduce maidens with music, drawing them into hidden groves, never to return. Yet in gentler stories, fauns were guides of children, protectors of animals, and watchers of secret springs. The faun's presence was always a mystery. Was he savior or deceiver? To see one was to be touched by magic, but also to step beyond the safety of mortal order, into the unpredictable realm of the wild.
Few know that the fauns were also considered seers. In hushed tones, the Romans spoke of dreams where fauns appeared, offering warnings of famine, war, or fortune. Their shrines became places where mortals sought visions, listening to the whispers of the forest carried by fauns' voices. Unlike the structured oracles of Apollo, faunic prophecy was raw and chaotic, messages hidden in the rustle of leaves or in the echo of distant laughter. It was said that fauns revealed not the destiny mortals wanted, but the truth they feared. In this, they reflected the forest itself, unpredictable, mysterious, and eternal. To dream of a faun was a blessing or a curse.
As the Old World faded and Christianity rose across Europe, the image of the faun changed. Once guardians of the forest, they became twisted in stories, their goat-like form associated with demons and the devil. The flute of joy became the whisper of temptation. The horns of wisdom turned to signs of evil. Yet even in this transformation, the essence of the faun survived. In literature, art, and modern myth, they remain symbols of mystery, enchantment, and untamed spirit. From the pages of ancient Rome to the poetry of Renaissance to the haunting presence in modern fantasy, the faun endures. They remind us of the wild within ourselves, the instinct, the music, the freedom untamed. The faun is eternal, for as long as forests breathe and shadows dance beneath the moon. Thus ends our journey into the myths of the faun, the spirit of the forest, the echo of freedom, the eternal trickster and guide. In their story, we see both the beauty and terror of the natural world, forever intertwined. This has been EPIC RELICS. Until the next relic of myth is unearthed, remember, the forest is never truly silent, and the faun may yet be watching.